Oh, some big changes afoot coming up in this episode.
Big
So-
changes afoot?
It-
Strange
it's
things
for-
are afoot
No,
at the Circle K.
well, it's like there's always strange things at the Circle K happening.
Always
But
strange
I'm
afoot.
talking about our episode. We have a few things that we need to get into, and I'm talking about some upgrades for your bathroom. Yes, that's right. Some issues in the YouTube world, and of course, some neighborly advice.
He didn't say unpack.
I
Welcome to the podcast Neighbors Don't Knock, the show where two neighbors drop by for conversations that are fun, relevant, and downright hilarious. Join them and special guests in their mission to talk about anything and everything and laugh about it no matter what. Now, here's your hosts, Brian Chambers and Philip Goffrey.
What's up, all you loyal neighbors out there? Yes, we are going to unpack a lot. There you go. You feel more satisfied that I said that?
You did it. You used
I
unpack.
did say it. I used
I'm
unpack.
proud of you.
So we are going to unpack a lot going on this week, but it's been a great week. How have you been?
I've been well, man. How are you?
I'm living the dream, my man.
You're always living the dream. I want to know what dream you're having.
It
It seems to be reoccurring.
If I told you, then everyone would be living the dream, and then I wouldn't feel special anymore.
It'd be a collective dream.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
it'd
some people
be
have
like
that as
I
their
would
whole
give the
life goal.
secret away. There's got to be mystery. Got to be
I
mystery
see.
in life, right?
I see.
So, but no, we do. We have a lot to unpack. We're going to be talking about some crazy things that are about to be changing in the YouTube world for some. It won't affect many, but there's some out there that are going a little crazy.
Ooh, some content creators are sweating.
yes,
Wait, we're
I
content
know.
creators. Are we sweating?
I don't think for this topic, but we'll get into it.
All right.
Before we get into that, though, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor.
I think we should.
Neighbors Don't Knock is produced by C&G Communications. C&G specializes in small batch voiceover and video production for commercial media, podcasting, radio, and more.
Combining years of experience in podcasting, acting, and sales, C&G offers big media products at small business prices.
That's right. To learn more, visit their Facebook page or email them directly at admin@cngcommunications.com. Okay, so we are now we'll move into our first segment.
Segment 1. You know what? Before we do, Brian, happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, I was holding my breath for a minute. I was like, you slowed down. It's kind of like when someone's like, hey, I got to talk to you. And then they put that like long pause and you're like, oh God, what about?
I think it's justified. I kind of feel like you should be wearing black, actually. For all of you who know Brian, have been listening to the show for a while, Brian turned 40 years old this past Monday.
I hit the big 4-0. So first of all, thank you for the birthday
You're
wishes.
welcome. How was Blackmore Bidet?
It was just like any other day. The thing with my birthday every year, and I don't know, I guess everyone, when I hit 30, I kind of expected some big change to feel something a little different. And,
Fair enough.
and I didn't. Same thing with this year with 40, except the fact that it's 40. And again, I'm thinking this is probably going to be a delayed feeling. So, I'm feeling fine. Like, oh, yeah, it's just every other day. But
Yes, conventionally known as a midlife crisis.
I was like, give it about a week, maybe two. I could be feeling different.
Well, let me know if you have
It's like-
any dark thoughts. But honestly, happy birthday, buddy.
I appreciate. Well, your birthday was
think
earlier
that's
this
great.
month too.
It was, but it wasn't a
It
big
wasn't
one.
a big.
I've
it
already
wasn't a big
crossed
one.
that line.
Yeah. Well, I'm joining that pack.
Welcome to the club. You know what they
So-
say? They say that 90 is the new 22 and a half.
Well, I mean, Queen Elizabeth, she was there.
Indeed.
But anyway, for all of you guys, thank you for the birthday wishes and things like that. I really appreciate that.
Leave Brian some good wishes in the comments below, and you can tell him stories about when you turn 40 if you've had the honor of crossing that threshold.
Yeah, I would be curious to hear, and then we maybe do a segment on that.
It's like that's when the hemorrhoids start.
Oh my word! Okay, that's not any foreshadowing. So
You like it? I sprinkled it in there.
you did no, don't use the word sprinkle either.
Well, I didn't use any insertion.
This,
or creams or anything.
there it
Yeah.
goes. There it goes. Okay, but yes, I appreciate it. My birthday was fun, and I guess it was low key, and I loved it being low key and receiving a bunch of the goodwill and good wishes and good vibes.
Yeah, but you did a pre-birthday
I did. That was what I was going to
blowout.
say. I did a trip and went to Disney World, and I had a blast. It was magical.
Yeah, Brian Chambers is no longer a Disney World virgin.
That's right.
Hold up. Yo, answer this question. Are you a virgin? Are you a virgin?
Yeah, not since I was 10.
It all makes sense. You're a virgin.
I am. Shut up.
I know, and I had such a good time. And I don't even think we have enough time on the show to go into it.
I don't either. But was it? Just one line, yes or no, one word. Was it the most magical place on Earth?
Yes.
Ooh, good answer.
Yes, it was.
That makes me happy.
It was. It really was.
Makes me happy for you, and it makes me happy for Disney, actually, because we loved it there, too. So.
You know, I'm glad. And there was things that was, or like I said, there were things.
A couple of weird issues.
They're like anything with any theme park, any vacation, when you have other people that you know.
Well, it's so inexpensive. You would think that there would be.
Yeah, right. I mean, I you know, they talk about, you know, you're going to see somebody scolding their kids or yelling at their kids and blah blah blah. No, I mean, I saw it.
Yeah.
You definitely saw all the, and it was people watching, man. Holy cow. It was better than Vegas.
Yeah, I got a little weirded
know?
out on my visits to Disney when I saw people getting a little bit handsy with their kids, because I'm like, wow, they're getting like smacked around in the happiest, most magical place on earth. That's just wrong.
Smile,
you know?
Mickey wants you to pop.
Totally.
You know, I had
Don't make me get Donald.
I had a great time.
He was a
though.
sailor.
He was a sailor. You know, I had a very good time, and we had a blast. There was a couple of times when there was some people. There was a dark ride or two that someone whips out their camera trying to film it with. I'm just like, dude, you know, you're ruining the experience for other people.
Yeah, it's awful.
I wasn't mean to someone, but I had to lean forward in one of the dark rides to ask them to turn their camera off or the flash off.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
if you
because
can
it kinda
see
ruined
each
it.
other, it ruins it. If you can see, obviously, the animatronics and the mechatronics and all of that, that really ruins it, right?
Yeah, and
So-
when it's supposed to be dark, the whole ride and just you lose what the attraction is. And first of all, I don't understand why you're gonna sit there doing that, and you're not experiencing it either. But you know, there was even a woman that was on her phone. We went to the Hall of Presidents, and we were watching, which is a very cool show. With amazing animatronics and things, and the way that it was really neat.
But were you just like dumbstruck by the Muppets at first before you walked in there and just watching the above shows? You were, weren't you? Don't lie. You were...
well, you know me, I love Muppets. But I will just say this: there was a woman in front of us that was texting on her phone, and I had to lean forward and ask her not to do that. You know, so you still have some of the same problems that you have everywhere, but. Overall, I had a wonderful, wonderful time. We're not going to dive too into it, but that actually brings us to our first segment, because we mentioned before we got into this that there was some issues in the YouTube world. Well, this has to do a little bit with Disney. Okay, so our segment one, that Disney is looking to ban vlogging. Which is really interesting.
Yeah, this lights me up in all the right ways.
Well, because it just kind of depends where you fall. Because as content creators, which we are, you know, I can understand where the pushback is, and it's like, wait, this is how, you know, you're like people that make their living vlogging about Disney and for Disney and this and that, and get invited to media events. I mean, of course you're going to push back. It's your living, right? But there are a lot of upsides to having vloggers stop.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so first of all, being content creators, I guess we really are. I can officially be part of this group.
I mean, we're not the same content creators at Disney, that are doing Disney.
Of course not. But I will say, to your point about there are people that, let's say, make their living vlogging at Disney. I mean, that's a real bummer if they get banned from the park for them. But that was still a career of convenience. Disney never guaranteed them that they would have access.
No,
to...
you're absolutely right. I mean, it was kind of just like we found a market and something that worked, and then we became, you know, entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Now, before you completely fillet me in the comments and just bombard me with "How dare you, you mother!" I get it. Trust me. Like I get that it's a big deal. But let's be real. I mean, content creation is a creative endeavor, right?
Yes.
If you're going to be banned from, you know, bringing your selfie stick and stuff and doing a whole segment in front of a Disney ride, you'll find a way to talk about the Disney ride and, impose images and all of that. I mean, welcome to editing and post, guys. Like,
Well,
we can do this.
and I'm not. Let me just say this: there are. Well, okay. So first off, they're testing it out in Japan. So
that makes sense. I mean, it's got to be the biggest market for it.
Yeah. So they're testing it out there, and I honestly though I see it coming and following over here in the States. I really do for Disney World and Disneyland. I just think that it is coming because no one wants, and I'm speaking for myself when I say no one, but no one wants to sit there on a ride and have someone narrating something or talking while a ride's going on.
No, it's terrible.
And the other thing is, again, I'm talking personally for myself. When I say no one, I don't mean everyone else. I'm talking about me. I don't want to be on a ride or Big Thunder Mountain or a roller coaster and watching someone with their cell phone or a camera up in front of my face where I'm getting the ride or and some people don't want to be on streaming videos or something.
Well, that's
like that.
the other problem.
So
I know I'm an old man and you're catching up awfully quickly over there, but back in the day, whenever we would
like
go
I'm
out,
trying to catch up to your age. It's
whenever we
just
would
naturally happening. I can't control that.
I'm still in first, buddy. You can try all you want. But no, honestly, whenever we used to do video projects or film projects, if we caught somebody on camera, we had to go hunt them down with a disclaimer and make sure that they signed that they can be on film.
Yeah, you had to make sure, yeah.
When did that stop being a thing? Because you're right. Like, if I'm on a ride in Disney with my family, I don't want to show up in someone's YouTube feed without giving them permission for that. That's nonsense. That shouldn't be allowed.
There are people that, and I've seen videos of this, where people talk about the bloopers and pitfalls of the job, and where they deleted things before, and somebody because not everyone is going to ask politely, unfortunately.
No, exactly. Like it's
some people,
so your cell phone broken, your camera broken. It can
and
be
as
really
we've
bad,
seen
right?
in Disney, there's been a very high amount of fights that have broken out.
No kidding.
In the news, at things at Disney.
Can you imagine if you catch Jack Nicholson by accident? He's going to mess you up. That old man will rip your camera right straight off. I've seen him deal with the paparazzi. It's bad.
Yeah, so I can understand that there is that issue for it, for people in the park. But I also I don't know. I'm kind of impartial because it doesn't bother me because I did watch a bunch of YouTube videos
Right,
and
you
channels
took advantage of all the content
of all the content creators
Yeah.
before I went, and to kind of find things that worked well. And honestly, my trip, I really can say that my trip went well.
Well, first of all, I'm glad to
because
hear
of
that.
it. I mean, had I shown up not knowing anything about Disney, without having watching the vloggers on YouTube, then I would have been dumbfounded. I just with the whole Genie Plus system and everything, and just the way theme parks have changed.
Yeah.
The digital world, the way you have to prep a little bit, and you always have to be flexible no matter where you go, but there's a lot to know before you go to Disney. There really is if you've never been.
Yeah.
And you're also getting advice from every person who's ever been.
Yeah, I get that it's a fine line too, because what do you consider actually being a vlogger in there and creating content? You got to come up with all kinds of really weird, arbitrary lines that you draw in the sand if you're going to police this whole thing.
Well, and that's the thing. And where are they going to do that? I mean, they've stated that it's certain equipment that you can't have, but these days they're making cameras so small. So,
yeah.
I mean, you can't tell, but there are, like Universal, they do not let you take, like, film rides. Like, they won't let you film a ride as you're on it. And we're talking cell phones and things like that.
Well, I think that a good solution for Disney then would be to go kind of along that route, but then give exceptions for blockout times for media hours, right?
Well,
Where
of
you can
course.
do-
But that's the other thing is Disney was using the media and all these influence, but at this point, do they really need it?
Of course not.
Exactly.
Because they have the technology themselves now to release all the content they want about their rides. They've got cameras in every nook, cranny, and corner of everything that they're
Exactly.
building.
And you're still going to get people that love Disney and produce stuff that without having to go into the parks to do that. So it's kind of like, well, they're making money off of Disney.
Yeah.
And Disney's not getting any benefits from it because they already have the exposure they need. What? Disney. What?
But free advertising is free advertising. So I will make this suggestion. Disney, if you are listening to Neighbors Don't Knock, if you are watching our YouTube channel, my suggestion to you is that if you want to start curtailing all this vlogging and content creation in the parks, release a tremendous amount of free stock footage, video, photographs. Let the content creators be able to pick and choose what they want from it, and don't stop. Release updates every few months.
Oh, you know that's not going to happen.
But it'd be great for Disney, and it'd be great for the content creators. Why not? It's a win-win.
Well, there's always going to be someone trying to film and do something in. So I don't know how. I really.
Well, for those, just get blow darts. Just drop them.
Then you see Goofy just dragging somebody off, or Pluto.
For real,
There's a Pluto
dude.
in her mouth. It's just like
Aladdin's carpet. You'll have just Jafar just show up. They're done, laid
all
out.
the new villain land that's coming out. There's the villains going around taking out the vloggers.
I think that's the way you do it. There you go, Disney.
The immersive
you heard it on
experience.
Neighbors Don't Knock.
The immersive experience.
Let the villains, or like the villain descendants, or whatever the heck you guys are doing now.
Yeah.
Let them go take care of your vlogging problem. I love it.
Yeah, this Zurg just kind of strolls out.
Zurg, steering wheel from Wall-E.
Exactly. I knew you were going to go there.
That would mess somebody up.
But what do you guys think? This is kind of a little bit of a hot topic because there's a lot of content creators out there. Do you think that vlogging at Disney should be banned? Should Disney go that route? Who is it? Is it going to hurt more for the vloggers, or is it going to hurt more for Disney? And to answer that, I would probably say it's going to hurt more for the vloggers.
Yeah, I think
than
so
it is
too.
going to hurt for Disney, and that's why I know we're going to see a lot of pushback, and I understand why the pushback from them, but at the same time, this is my challenge to all you vloggers if this happens out there that are Disney vloggers, which I appreciate what you did because it made my trip, a success. Be creative, keep going with it, find different avenues to continue being creative in certain ways. However that may be, I don't have that answer. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or bad thing. I think the vloggers are going to be the ones that get it. Do you think it's going to be good or bad?
Buddy, I don't know, but I will throw my unwanted 2 cents in on top of what you just said to the vloggers out there. Big companies, believe it or not, they are listening, and they actually don't like bad PR. But if you just start screaming and raising a fist, they're going to tune you out.
Well, I will say
have
that
conversations, have dialogues, make requests.
For me, I think with this, in this instance, it's the bad PR is not even going to be the issue. It's only when the almighty dollar gets hit.
I agree with you, but
that's when the listening
But I'm just saying, if a
happens.
bunch of vloggers are all just screaming on the internet about the atrocities that Disney is committing against their business, Disney's not going to care. But if you start putting good, thoughtful arguments forward about how you help the parks and help the experience, they just might listen.
Yeah, and let me just say this. I didn't have, aside from the people in the park that were just personally doing things that were not good on rides and, cell phones and things like that, I didn't come across, actually, that's not true. I saw one YouTube vlog, but I didn't see him doing anything.
You didn't get clotheslined by a selfie stick
No.
trying to...
He had it looked like photography equipment draped all over him with bags and stuff.
You can give a legit
I
video, too.
recognized him from from a video we were passing, but but I didn't see him doing anything. I personally didn't have an experience like that, and so I can't say that I really have an issue with it. But I do understand that some people don't like it, and so it wouldn't be the end of the world.
No, and I do appreciate it. You talk about the big camera rigs and stuff. I do appreciate it when I see people out there that are doing content creation and trying to come up with content for their shows. I appreciate it when they're discreet. I like smaller cameras. GoPros are tiny, action cameras are tiny, little DJIs for the iPhones. That stuff's nice. When you get the big, bulky,
you start getting all that
cinema
stuff,
rigs and whatnot. I mean, then all of a sudden you're taking a 5 or 6 year old's experience away from them, and that's not cool.
Yeah, exactly. So and so I can see both sides' argument of this, but we'll see what happens. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, post up.
Okay.
Brian, before we get into our next segment, I do want to say, speaking of content creation, it is very difficult to have a glass with ice next to a microphone and keep it quiet.
You're patting yourself on the back.
I am.
You want to give it?
I might knock the table. I might knock the table. I might knock the mic now and again. But I tell you what, I can take a sip of bourbon.
Oh, okay. Well,
this is a masterful skill.
Where is it? I'm gonna let you have this moment. I'm gonna let you have it.
This is the old man stretching right here. Trying to get as far as that goes.
Yeah. Do I need to get you the little hand pat thing?
I'm thinking about a straw, just straight down to the glass for next time. What do you guys think? Just
this little squiggly straw. so you can watch it go
like
all
it.
the way up. You know, have some
I'm
fun.
getting old, Brian.
Maybe a color changing one. Let
can't- I
let
can't-
yourself feel youthful.
Youthful. I can't trust my hands not to shake. I can't trust a fart. Those days are long gone.
Well, okay. So speaking of fart, not that we're gonna segue in, but
I feel good about that segue.
yeah, you did. You did well with that one. But our second topic is a little bit of change going on. And, turning 40 was change. Change for vloggers coming up. Change. This episode's all about change, right? Or about embracing change or maybe looking to update. And, one thing that we update everything in our lives, right?
Except our act.
Exactly. Again, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to let you have that one too. Do I need to pull up all right, here, give yourself the
Clown. Oh, wow. There's a change. We could do the whole show like this. Let's not. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're done with that. But okay. So we do have.
Can we delete the file?
Okay. So there's a lot of things that have changed, and as I was getting new internet cables put in, the fiber optic and AT&T.
Dude, congratulations.
Which you've been saying that it's like I need to get for forever, and the problem is that it wasn't offered and it's only in select areas. But now I'm getting it. Of course, I still have to wait another few months because they have to put it through every unit in our building,
but gigabit fiber is coming to Brian Chambers'
I
life.
know. Fast internet. What am I going to do with it? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're going to be solving the cryo problem with Artemis, and NASA's going to be going straight to Mars thanks to you and your high-speed internet.
But okay, so this was kind of reminding me a lot about things that kind of update in our house. That and a story that was a little bit hesitant to share with our listeners and viewers because I didn't know how much they'd really want to hear this story.
We want to hear all of it.
But I'm okay. I'm going to take you guys on this journey. You're going to go on this journey with me. I'm taking everyone there. And I'm sorry if you don't want to go on this journey, but I'm taking you anyway.
Or if you're eating.
Yeah, exactly. I would put down anything edible right now. No, I'm just kidding. So the bathroom. The bathroom is a place that I feel gets overlooked when you do updates, or the updates are more to the sink. Right?
Yeah,
like it's
shower,
like
stall,
shower,
tile, sure.
Yeah, exactly. We don't ever pay attention to updating the toilet.
Well, I mean, usually toilets are replaced.
Exactly.
But you mean like
upgrading to something a little bit fancier.
Like high-tech toilet?
Well, more like a bidet, like adding a bidet. Okay.
Ooh.
So, and I had this thought, I've been thinking a lot about change that's happening around me, my apartment complex, my age, everything else. And there was
his age, your need for a bidet. Wow. Okay.
Okay. But anyway, so I was using the bathroom, and everyone's been there to that point when you don't check the toilet paper roll. You don't see that it's low after you've sat down, you've done your business, and you're like, oh shit.
I mean, Seinfeld did a whole Spare a Square episode about this, right?
You're like, I thought there was more toilet paper there, right?
You pull.
And it's just like, you know it was low, and you're in your head, you're like, I'll replace it after right? And then at that point, they're like, that's why we always keep one that's somewhere reachable, right? We have a basket on the back of the toilet that anyway.
You don't know how to use the shells?
I don't know how to use it. No, he doesn't know how to use the seashells.
Oh, they're going to use Stallone.
If you guys know that reference, post up. If you know the seashell reference, please put that in the comments below. I want to see who actually knows that reference. But yeah, so I get there and I'm getting ready to be done, and I find that there's very little toilet paper, and I'm sitting here like, okay, so I'm looking around. Right, there is my wife's not in the house. The dogs aren't good enough. They're not trained enough to go grab me a roll.
I was about to say, what are you going to use the dogs for? Oh God!
No, I was just like, I literally was just like about to call the dogs, like, go get Dad some toilet paper. Go, come on, and I knew that I was like wasting
It's not
my
Lassie living in your house, buddy.
Exactly. So I'm
on, girl.
So I'm kind of sitting there, and you're, and it's weird when you're home alone and you're in your bathroom, and you're looking around as if someone's gonna notice you. Like if you do something like, I can't move because if I do something weird, like someone's gonna see it, but no one's gonna watch it.
No, Brian,
right?
Brian, you're in your 40s now, so that that pants around the ankle shuffle of shame. You better get used to that one.
So I wasn't a complete shuffle of shame, but I couldn't do it. I was like, I don't know where, and they're under the cabinet or whatever the rolls. So I was just like, well, you know what? I wish I had a bidet. Right? Like right at that moment, I was just like, it would be really nice if I had a bidet right now.
So that got me thinking.
So I was just kind of sitting there and I'm just like, yep, that'd be nice. And then so after I used my limited amount of toilet paper, I jumped right in the shower. Like after
Well done.
that.
Well done. Way to
I'm just
parlay
like,
that. Not everybody would think to do that. So
I
that
was just
good.
like, thank goodness I had the time, right? And you can imagine if I was in a rush.
But you'd make the time.
You're right. I would make the time.
Let's be honest
I
here.
would make the time.
Whatever it is, it can wait.
The Uber driver's like, I've been waiting here for 10 minutes. I'm like, dude, trust me, you wouldn't have wanted me earlier. So, but yes, I have the crisis averted. So that just got me thinking. After that, I got on my phone and I started looking up bidets. I just started looking up and I found that there are an insane amount of styles of bidets and high-tech toilets now.
Yeah, the number of options is pretty staggering.
It is unreal. I didn't even know where to begin. So I went back and I started with the history of bidets.
Ooh, tell me.
And okay, so in 1710,
Let's wash your story from my memory with actual history.
1710, there was a royal family furniture maker in France that I believe his name was Christophe. If I may butcher this, des Rosiers. And he apparently installed the first bidet in the palace.
No,
Now,
Mr. Chambers, it is Christophe does your ears.
Exactly. And again, this might not have been the pure invention of the bidet, but it was around the late 1600s, 1700s.
Oh, wait, 1700s,
Yeah.
gotcha. So 1710, old Christophe installs
So he installs one in the palace. The first bidet in the palace.
palatial
Yes.
bidet.
So, I thought that was kind of neat. And the word, I found out, the word bidet, French word, means pony. And I was just like, well, that doesn't really match up. The word bidet, meaning pony, is just, it's very odd to think that really means what it's washing.
Yeah, you French, you got some explaining to do.
Yeah, so
explain yourself.
And for those that don't know what a bidet is, it's basically like a way of freshening yourself and cleaning your privates, basically. But you would straddle it like a saddle.
Okay.
And then that's where the word came from. So that's where bidet came from.
I mean, I feel bad for all of the royal palatial bidet pumpers that are in there, like trying to flow water.
It was a single pump that would just like splash water up. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And again, something that was very high class to have, right? You didn't have the cow milker that using the bidet or whatever.
No, this is not for the plebes out there. I mean, this is.
But the other reason that was very interesting that goes back a little history lesson is that they used to bathe themselves maybe once a week. Right, every few days or every week they would take a bath. So this was a way to stay fresh without between baths.
Yeah, this makes sense.
So that's kind of where that was, and I was like, oh, that makes sense to me as well. And so anyway, but bidets are still heavily used today in the world, and
of course,
people,
quite frankly,
people love them
as they should be. When I was in my high school,
you're a fan of the bidet.
I am.
Okay,
I don't own one. I would like to
Interesting.
own one, but I don't own one. I can't bring myself to buy one of the little plastic add-in cheesy things we're going to talk about.
Yeah. I was going to talk about a few of those coming up, but like there are the seats.
But I would totally own a fully functional, like actual upgraded toilet / bidet. I wouldn't own a separate bidet like the Italians do, which I'm sure we're going to talk about
like one next to the other.
Yeah.
That's you go in, you're like, oh man. Which should I use? Should I use the bidet first, then go, and then use the bidet again, or should I go, then use the bidet? But then I might have to go again.
But I will give a shout out to my brother Rob. Rob, if you're listening, a little shout out and kudos to you, sir. When my brother was living in Italy and I went out to visit him when I was in my early teens, I was a little bit taken aback by the bidets that were in most apartments and houses and things like that all throughout Italy. And Rob concisely summed it up in the way that I will forever remember and makes the most sense. He said, Phil, if you're wiping your ass and you get shit on your hand, are you going to take a dry towel and pat it off, or are you going to go wash your hands?
You're going to go wash
my hands. He goes, the bidet.
The
I'm like,
bidet.
all of a sudden, lights went on. It makes sense. Wash your hands like you wash your hands. I like it.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
No, okay, so let me ask you this. If you had a bidet, would you stop really using toilet paper?
No.
Okay.
No. But there might be a ritual, right?
Yeah. Or maybe consumption of less toilet paper.
I would think so. But water is a terribly finite resource as well. So I don't know. Are bidets more or less?
Well, it really kind of depends. And now, okay, if you think back even 20 years ago, bidets, they have changed because now you have water pressure and targeting and different levels.
Targeting.
Oh, yeah.
Laser guided.
They're-
It's like the Dyson that maps out the dust on the floor.
I'm telling you, I started looking some of this stuff up. There are some very high tech toilets out there, these ladies and gentlemen. There are some, you will not believe what some of these toilets will do. And they're Bluetooth.
Now I'm picturing Mo from Wall-E just rushing around, scrubbing some poor dude's bag as he's sitting on the John targeted bidet.
I'm telling you. And we joked
Wow.
about this before the episode. We got on the to record the episode. You know that it's soon going to be a function of Siri and Alexa. It's you're going to be able to connect that Bluetooth.
Hey, smart speaker, wash my bag. I mean, oh, golly, that's just
Just make
terrible.
sure that you don't have anyone programmed to that same name in your phone, so you don't accidentally call them while that action is supposed to be happening.
Little inside joke there. I tell you what, Brian, I'm curious. What are the upgraded bidets
Okay.
that you've come across in
I
your now
I
quest?
actually I don't have time. We don't have enough time to go through all of these
Fair enough.
actually. But there are, like you were talking about, if you're wanting to get a bidet, you can get a simple. They actually have portable. I would say portable, but handheld. It's like a mobile toilet shower is what it's been called.
I mean, isn't that just a water bottle with a pump?
Yeah, kind of pretty much. But they also have they also have the ones that are attached to the seats. So
These are those add-on sort of
yeah, so
they have a little
like,
dial on the side. You
but
can
I-
dial in pressure and
well, you can. It's like it hooks the hose to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
side, and it's specific to a seat, and you just have to make sure your toilet can accommodate that size or whatever you get. I mean, I don't really get what a portable bidet sprayer would really do. I mean, that's basically a water bottle that you could just keep,
Yeah.
without having to pay
Little
80
spritz.
to $100.
I'm sure, I'm sure they make one you can attach to your phone and have the phone power. Just hold it down there.
I'm sure you could.
I feel fresh. I mean, what good golly.
But they have one it's called the Tushy Classic 3.0 bidet toilet
Oh.
seat attachment.
Oh, the Tushy Classic.
That's
3.0.
right. That's right. It is self-cleaning as well. It has a prominent switch that lets you choose the angle of the nozzle, front or back. Okay. This device installs onto your toilet in about 10 minutes with no plumber required, as it says. But, if you are very foreign to a lot of these or dealing with toilets, I would find a friend that knows or just call a plumber. It says simply unscrew your existing toilet seat to install the Tushy in between the seat and the toilet, and then put the seat back on, and then connect the device to the water line, and then you're good to go.
I love it. New
So-
plumbing to clean your plumbing.
There you go. So, but there's a variety of different seats themselves, and these seats are seat warmers. They actually, some of them have a little mist deal that will happen as you sit down.
Oh.
That way, it's like cleans it before you even,
A little
yeah,
little pre-squirt.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly. Okay, but
Well, can you add like a little alcohol packet to make it a cooling effect, like a little menthol squirt?
ouch.
Yeah, that would have to
Yeah,
good.
I was like,
As that was coming
like,
out, I was realizing what I was saying.
Yeah.
It really would not work very well.
I
with
was
it, yeah.
I was like, you have fun with that one, I'm just gonna come over and see you like walking as if you have something stuck up your butt. Like, what happened? The alcohol, the alcohol wipes. Okay, so they get a little bit more expensive when you actually have the full toilet. So a lot of people now are just doing an all-in-one instead of like you said, like
I mean,
your
I
brother.
imagine that's the ideal solution.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have a large bathroom, who has room to have a bidet and a toilet these days? I mean, I know you
these days, as if any American household was ever naturally built out to accommodate such a thing.
Most are not, but they're becoming a lot more popular for more
Clearly,
modern
it's
homes.
big business. It's big business.
It really is a big business. And okay, so there is one, and I found on Forbes.com for the 2022 year that this was kind of come out, and this came out earlier this year, and a variety of seats and covers and things like that are really impressive. But the toilet itself is pretty pricey. You can find these covers in anywhere from the range of $60 to $100 all the way up to $300-$400 for the seats themselves.
Oh wow!
But that's just, again, the seats. But the best all-around premium, best bidet itself, toilet. Now this is the difference. The toilet bidet is going to run you about $2,500.
Ouch!
So it's an expensive bidet. Now this is what was recommended on Forbes. Now I found a list of all kinds of bidets on other places, and there was like smart, high-tech ones, and I'm just going to read you some of the features. Okay, this was one that I found. It's called, and if I mess this up, Duravit Senso Wash I Plus. Okay, so the Senso Wash I Plus, it was designed by a guy named Philip Stark, and it's yeah, I know, I know. The toilet includes a touchless automatic lid, with an antimicrobial glaze and a heated seat that turns off automatically after 48 hours. Without use. After 48
Is it powered by an arc reactor?
So, while users can use the wireless remote included with the toilet, one of the Senso Wash I Plus hallmark features is its app-integrated control system. With the app, users can also flush the toilet, control the deodorizer, and the LED nightlight. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had that issue. You get up at night and you don't want to turn on a light. Do you just sit down, or do you roll the dice?
I roll the dice, but the
I was expecting a whole different answer when you said that.
You really don't want to be you really don't want to be fiddling around rather with your app while you're on the John, dude. Like, that's not cool. Like, well, do I want fuchsia lighting today for my junk? I mean, good Lord.
You know what? Some people like to admire themselves while they're on the throne.
I just love the way that blue brings out my nether regions.
Exactly,
Whoa,
right?
Guys, come on. Who needs a lighted
I
toilet seat?
think it's more or less like to put it on before you get there so you can see where you're going.
Oh, great.
It gives you a target.
Yeah. Like guiding in a jumbo jet.
Well, not only that, but not only that, like if you stumble out of bed, if you stumble out of bed and you're trying to find the bathroom and you're half asleep, just having the light, kind of like bringing in a plane. The runway's there, man. Just head right there.
Yeah, I've lost more bedroom slippers that way. Just one wrong step into the drink.
Okay, so aside from the LED nightlight and the deodorizer, the toilet also has 7 different energy-saving modes.
Oh, good. It's an eco-friendly bidet.
Exactly. The smart toilet features a stainless steel bidet, which is cleaned before and after each use. For a customized experience, users can choose the water temperature, the bidet position, jet strength, and air dryer temperature, and then save them in their own profile. So you could have your You could have your own settings.
Wow.
So each person in your family who uses it could have their own settings of how they want to use the toilet.
Brian, now that we're both in our 40s, I can tell you that the setting you should choose for either of us would be the strip paint pressure washer setting. That would be the...
Okay. So just like, not done yet.
It's like one of those automatic car washes, you're going to just like overspray
and
everywhere.
Again, listeners and viewers, this is why we told you to stop eating. At this point. Okay, but it also, last thing.
Time to dry. Get the countdown so you can back your ass out of there.
What is the movie Dumb and Dumber when Jeff Daniels is in the bathroom? He's like, "What are you doing there? Shaving?"
I hope you're not using the toilet. It's broken.
Huh?
The toilet doesn't flush.
No, I was just shaving.
Exactly.
So
well remembered, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, the ski lodge scene.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so it says it's rimless rotating flushing system enables the toilet to use as little as 0.82 gallons per flush, which is great because a lot of them use over a gallon to flush because you're using a lot more water and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's
rimless and rotating to clean your rim.
There
and
you go.
Eco-friendly.
Exactly.
Whoa.
So I'm just telling you, there are some very high tech. There are some very high tech toilets out there. One more I do want to share with you, which I thought this was kind of interesting. This is kind of it's the B095OS. I don't know how other than that. The Woodbridge Bath B095OS.
Oh yes,
I know, right?
I saw that at the concept show.
Exactly. It's a more affordable option versus the last one that I just talked about. It still has a variety of smart toilet features with an adjustable bidet. Users can control the position, water temperature, water pressure, and customize to clean with 3 settings: feminine, posterior, and pulsating wash. Those are the 3 settings.
Wow.
I was going to throw that out there for you because I knew you would have something to say about that.
Pulsating wash.
So it reminded me when you started doing the whole air dryer thing.
Lone Star. I see your Schwartz are as big as mine. I mean, who needs a pull? Wow.
I knew that. I knew to get you. Okay, so it also users they choose the desired setting with a wireless remote. Again, the wireless remotes, they're big these days. The toilet also features a soft close heated seat, a dryer system, and a water filtration system for the bidet water, which is nice because you don't want to be washing yourself with dirty water, so it's nice that you have sanitized water.
Oh God.
So I mean, it's hands-free, automatic flush, drains the toilet bowl. It's about 1.28 gallons per flush. An ionized carbon filter cleans the air to eliminate odors and stuff. So it has a lot of these. I mean, you're thinking like now pricing is going to vary depending on which models you get, but I'm sure there is a massive difference between this one and the last one that we talked about. Also aesthetics and the way that they look, very kind of sleek, modern, things in your apartment or a house.
All to wash your rear. I love it.
I know. I'm just saying, this is just very interesting to me because we always think about upgrading the marble, the faucets, the shower head. Of course, we use all those, but we use the toilet in the bathroom just as much.
Yeah.
I
get it. And honestly, like I said earlier, I'm all for the bidet. I think it's great. But listeners out there, if you are looking at a remodeling project and you're in the market for one of these things, let's step back a second. If firing up your bidet sounds like the beginning of a Billy Joel song from the 80s, you've gone too far. Like, you got to pull back. All right.
Well, I'm gonna say I think there's a lot of pros and cons to it. I mean, yes, you're gonna pay a lot more for something like that, but I honestly think that it should be something being put in houses now. With I think toilets should be included in that.
I agree.
I really think that it would cut down cost of toilet paper.
Yeah.
I mean, we had this massive, especially with the toilet paper.
Pandemic
shortage that
sure.
went nuts. I mean, it's kind of like, do you use solar energy? Do you use, our solar panels and things like that? So it becomes something similar in that conversation. But I do want to ask you guys, would you use a bidet if you had one? Is that something that you do have or want? I mean, what are the pros and cons to you? I really pose that question to you. I'm all for it. I'm talking to my wife about it. Change is coming with me. Change is coming.
I'd like to know as well if you're going to put a bidet in, or if you'd be interested in doing that one day. Are you going to be simple about it, or are you going to go baller for your balls? I'd like to know. Is it the light up toilet?
I'd want to go baller. I would want to go baller, but the problem is I'd probably have to start small.
Baller for your balls.
So I'd probably have to start with the seat thing, which I don't know if I'd love, but
you're going to scale into the bidet
exactly, right?
I like it. That's very practical of you.
I try sometimes. But okay, let's move into our neighborly advice segment, which is always a ton of fun. Yeah.
It does get you in the mood.
It does. Okay, and so we've given you guys so much advice right now, but we always like to offer a little extra neighborly advice at the end of each show. And today's advice is very, very simple. Go experience something outside. Go see the world. Put yourself out there to do something. Fall is here.
It is here.
It's
officially
here.
It's
officially here.
We have passed the equinox.
That's right. And even if it may not feel for us like it's fall, it's still fall. And there's lots of things happening. Just let yourself go outside. Find something that you can do. Take a walk, ride a bike, do a run, sit outside if you have to on your computer and work. You know, just get yourself out there a little bit and enjoy it.
I like it. And while you're outside, wave at a neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Or a neighbor.
Yeah.
A neighbor.
A neighbor?
Or a neighbor's navel.
Well, I hope you don't have to deal with the
Get outside, ask your neighbor about their bidet.
There you go. It's a conversation starter. It's definitely a conversation starter.
I like it, though. I agree with you. Getting outside during the fall, that's pretty good neighborly advice. I think we all could use a little bit more fresh air outdoor time.
I do too. Are you going to be doing something outside this fall?
I am. I started running again.
Ooh, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good time to start running, right?
Yeah, high mileage, too, so.
Okay. Are you?
Lots of outdoor
Does
time.
that mean you're training for something?
I'm not ready to announce yet,
Oh, okay.
but I'm thinking about it.
All right. Well, that's
Let's
good.
teaser.
All right. I'm happy to say I started biking again outside,
Nice,
which
very
is
good.
nice. So, but that's just for me. I'm not training for anything specific, so I just enjoy it.
You're training for your 40s.
Yeah, apparently.
Old man.
Yeah, apparently. Training for my 50s. That's what I'm doing. I'm training for the 50s.
There you go. Start prepping now.
So, but what do you guys think? What do you love to do outside? We'd love to hear your stories. Hit us up, email us, subscribe to the podcast. We'd love to have you with us every week, but I think we're getting close to wrapping this one up.
I think so too. And Brian, you're right about subscribing to the podcast. I hate to be one of those content creators that constantly presses on that button, but honestly, the likes, the subscriptions, and the comments, they do help the algorithms, have more and more people discover Neighbors Don't Knock. So anything you can do to...
For those of you that don't understand the word algorithm, it helps the show and helps us create more content and more fun for you. So we really want your help to promote the show, the episode, so we can bring more for you, get more great guests. But speaking of guests, we're going to have a very special guest next week.
We are.
I'm very excited. So you guys are going to want to tune into that.
Every other episode.
I know. So like and subscribe. Hit us up on social media. Hey, man, we're here every week for you loyal neighbors out there with some new neighborly advice. So we'll catch you next week.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace out.
Peace out?
Peace out.
Peace out. No, we're already losing it.
Just remember,
I hit 40 and we're losing it.
if the toilet paper's not clear,
Oh.
wash your rear.
That should have been next week's neighborly advice. Peace out, guys.